Thank you so much for your help. Let me start with this. Okay, so the definition is a chronic multisystemic inflammatory disorder primarily involving the sacroiliac joints and the axial skeleton. The other clinical manifestations include peripheral arthritis, enthesitis, and extra-articular organs. So it's a very common subject for a USL examination and very important for a rheumatology. You need to differentiate it from the rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. Okay, this is very important. So try spending some time with me. Definitely it will help you. I'm sure you will do best. Okay, the chronic inflammatory disease that most commonly involves the SI joints and axial skeleton and the hip and the shoulder joints less frequently affected. Peripheral joints and enthesis and the certain extra-articular organs including eyes, skin, cardiovascular system may be involved to a lesser degree. So this is not only a joint disorder, but it also affects the other systems of the body. Like eyes are involved, okay, the cardiovascular system is involved, the skin is involved. That's very important. Okay, the key components of the particular of a patient history that suggests AS includes the following: insidious onset of a low back pain, very important. Onset of symptoms in those younger than 40 years. So if you are 40 years and you have a back pain, think of ankylosing spondylitis. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. Presence of symptoms for more than 3 months, very important. Symptoms worse in the morning or with the inactivity. So there is a morning stiffness. You need to differentiate it from rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and ankylosing spondylitis. Later I will upload more videos on this about morning stiffness. Okay, improvement of the symptoms with exercise, very important. Improvement of symptoms with exercise, very important, because you and we, what we do whenever we do some exercise, we get tired, but these fellows, they get the energy whenever they do work. So that's why they should become a residents, not us. Okay, that was a fun part. Okay, let's go. The chronic pain and stiffness are the most common complaints of the patients with AS. More than 70% of patients report daily pain and stiffness. Inflammatory back pain is the most common symptom and the first manifestation. The pain is typically dull and poorly localized to the gluteal and the sacroiliac area. The symptoms associated with the inflammatory back pain includes insidious onset occurring over the months or years, generally with at least 3 months of the symptoms before presentation. Most patients have mild chronic disease or intermittent phase with periods of remissions. The spinal disease is rarely persistently active. The pain often begins unilaterally, intermittently, and generally begins in the lumbosacral region. However, as the disease progresses, it becomes more persistent and bilateral and progresses more proximally with ossification of the annulus, fibrosis that results in the fusion of the spine, that is bamboo spine. Very important, bamboo spine, you need to remember, because this can be asked for USMLE examination. Patients commonly experience morning stiffness lasting at least 30 minutes. Improvement of symptoms with moderate physical activity and a diffuse non-specific radiation of the pain into both the buttocks, very important. So you need to remember about the morning stiffness lasting at least 30 minutes and improvement of the symptoms. These are very important for USMLE examination. Patients often experience stiffness and the pain that awakens them in early morning and the distinctive symptoms not generally found in the patients with a mechanical back pain. Okay, the morning stiffness that lasts more than 30 minutes. Okay, improvement of the back. This is the criteria. This is the criteria that you can remember. But the earlier what I said, that's very important than this. But you can remember this also. So improvement of the back pain with the exercise, but not rest. Nocturnal back pain during second half of the night only, alternating buttock pains. Joint involvement tends to occur most commonly in the hips, shoulders, and the joints of the chest wall, including the acromioclavicular and the sternoclavicular joints, and often occurs in the first 10 minutes of the disease. On examination, focus the physical examination on the active and the passive range of movements of the axial and the peripheral joints. Tenderness in the SI and the sacroiliac joints is common. Stiffness of the spine and the kyphosis resulting in a stooped posture are characteristics of advanced stage of AS. Earlier in the course of the disease, indirect evidence of the sacroiliitis or spondylitis may be observed. including tenderness of the SI, that is the sacroiliac. Normal flexion increases the distance by at least 5 centimeters. Very important. Remember, sometimes they can give you the distance also. Loss of chest expansion less than 3 centimeter difference between minimum and maximum chest diameter is usually found only in a patients with a late stage disease and is generally not helpful in diagnosis. So this is not the criteria for the diagnosis, but the patient as it advances, then they can have these problems. Peripheral enthesitis can be occurred. Uveitis, very common, very common. Uveitis is the most common extra-articular manifestation of AS. Aortitis of the ascending aorta may lead to distortion of the aortic ring, resulting in aortic wall insufficiency. Mitral wall insufficiency rarely occurs. So they can ask you which of the following is the most common. They give you aortic wall insufficiency and mitral wall insufficiency. So remember, aortic wall insufficiency is more common than mitral. Restrictive lung disease may occur in the patients with the late stages with costovertebral and costosternal involvement, causing limited chest expansion. Amyloidosis is a very rare complication of AS in a patient with a severe, active and a long-standing disease. Patients are also prone to axial subluxation, which may result in cervical neuropathy, asymptomatic inflammation of the proximal colon and the terminal ileum. AS is associated with a newborn formation of the sites of the spines, peripheral enthesitis, osteopenia, osteoporosis have been documented in a patient with a long-standing spondylitis, resulting in the increased risk of fracture. Okay, the laboratory test. What the test you want to do? No laboratory tests are specific for AS. No laboratory tests are specific for AS. Okay, normochromic normocytic anemia can be seen. ESR, CRP is elevated, ELP is elevated, CK are elevated, but not related to muscle weakness. That's very important. IgA level may be elevated, that correlates with the acute phase reactants. ASR HLA B27, remember B27 positive. Radiography, very important. Evidence of inflammatory change both sacroiliac joints and the spines are useful in the diagnosis and the ongoing evaluation of the disease process. Peripheral joint involvement is the most common in the hips and the shoulders, may result in uniform joint space narrowing, cystic or erosive changes and deformation, and subchondral sclerosis without osteopenia. How do you treat it? No definite disease modifying treatment exists for individual with ankylosing spondylitis. Okay, the early diagnosis is very important. And the best drug you can start initially is the NSAIDs. Okay, the sulfasalazine is useful in the patients who do not respond to or who have contraindication to NSAIDs. That's very important. TNF alpha antagonists have been shown to be beneficial in the treatment of AS. Okay, the oral corticosteroids are occasionally helpful in controlling AS symptoms. However, they should be used only for short-term management. Long-term management carries a high risk of adverse effects. Patients respond well to the topical corticosteroids, mydriatics, and artificial tears with resolution of attack over 2 to 3 months. Treatment occasionally requires topical NSAIDs, retrobulbar corticosteroid injections, or immunosuppressive drugs. TNF alpha antagonists may be helpful in selected cases. Spinal extensions and a deep breathing exercise, because of physical therapy, rehabilitation is very important for them. So you need to do that. So what type of physical therapy we do? Spinal extension and deep breathing exercises. Erect postures, promote chest expansions, maintenance of erect posture during the daily activities, and sleeping on a firm mattress with a thin pillow also tend to reduce the tendency towards a thoracic kyphosis. Okay, with this I complete my video on ankylosing spondylitis. Guys, very important topic. Replay again and go through this video again. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Thank you so much for watching my video. Take care, and do not forget to subscribe. That's very important, because guys, it will stimulate me to upload more videos. Thank you.